However, I very rarely make these kind of predictions. I'm going to go for a draw in this game. If you think about it, Brighton have scored at least 2 goals in their last 5 home games, and Manchester have conceded at least a goal, sometimes 2, in their last 5 away games. So will both teams score in this one? I mean, seriously, you beat Real Madrid 4-0 at the Bernabeu, and then what? You go and lose to Sociedad? Before we get into this weekend's predictions, if you're enjoying these videos, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button now for me and help me get these videos out to more football-loving fans like yourselves. Go on, do it now. It only takes a second. Thanks heaps, everyone. Now, last week in the EPL, we saw some big surprises. We saw some late equalizers and we saw lots of goals. And this week, we're going to predict some more. Let's kick off our predictions this week with the team that probably dished out the biggest surprise of the round last week, as Bournemouth picked off the mighty Man City and ended their 32-game undefeated run. This week, the Cherries are away to another team that does tend to perform much better at home, as they're facing the high-scoring Brentford. Brentford at home are in scintillating form. They've scored like 9 goals in their last 2 home games, and they've only dropped points once at home all season. After smashing 4 past Ipswich and 5 past Wolves, Brentford will be confident of at least finding the back of the net in this game. And although they've scored 9 goals in their last 2 home games, they also managed to concede 6 in the process as well. So it's fair to say that their game tends to be like really exciting, and they're playing a very open and expansive football. And that cost them last weekend, as they conceded 2 very late goals against Fulham, and they managed to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Bournemouth, the current giant killers in the EPL, will also be coming into this game high on confidence. At home, they can beat anyone, but on their travels, they're far less convincing. However, after beating Man City last weekend, they will be full of belief that they can get a good result this weekend at the G-Tech Community Stadium. I really like that name. Given both teams' current attacking form coming into this game, I really think that goals will be a given in this one. Like, over 2.5 goals does seem to be tempting to me, but I just want to play it a little bit safer, so I'm just going to stick with predicting that both teams will score in this game. It was a 2-2 draw in this fixture last season, and I feel that that result is quite possible again this weekend, so my prediction is for both teams to score. The low-flying Eagles, Crystal Palace, host a more consistent Fulham this weekend, and a Fulham side that has scored in 9 of their 10 games so far this season. 9 out of 10. Harry Wilson played the role of Roger Miller as the super sub, scoring 2 goals in additional time last round to give Fulham a 2-1 win at home against Brentford. Palace, on the other hand, are coming off a mixed bag of results really heading into this game. They denied Wolves their first victory of the season last weekend by scoring a late equaliser. And that comes off a, well, quite surprising home win against a now resurgent Tottenham side. Fulham, though, are playing slightly better at the moment, and they've even managed to beat third-place Nottingham Forest away from home, and that was only a couple of weeks ago. All things being considered, I see both teams possibly scoring in this game. However, I very rarely make these kind of predictions. I'm going to go for a draw in this game. They drew twice last season, so I really can't pick a winner this time, so I'm going to pick a draw for this game as well. Another close encounter this weekend sees an inconsistent West Ham hosting a slightly more consistently boring Everton at the originally named London Stadium. Who gets paid to come up with names like that? Both teams are coming into this one off losses last weekend, and if they weren't playing each other, to be honest, they'd probably be losing again this weekend. But I won't be surprised if we do find a winner in this game, and as there's not much separating these two coming into this one, I feel that maybe the Hammers, being at home favourites, they beat Man U at home, they're probably going to be slight favourites to get the win in this one. And that is going to be my prediction for this fascinating encounter of West Ham at home to Everton. The Wolves host Southampton in what is potentially a similar exciting encounter. Except Wolves haven't won a single game this season. Not even one. They nearly won last time out, as they were leading Crystal Palace 2-1 with 5 minutes to go. But alas, once again, they conceded a late goal and the game ended up in another draw. Southampton, on the other hand, did record their first win of the season last weekend at home against Everton. Adam Armstrong scoring the late winner last weekend, moving Southampton up the table to second last. The last place is, of course, reserved for the so far toothless Wolves, but that might change after this game. The home fans will be desperate for all 3 points in this game, and although it wouldn't surprise me to see Southampton get on the score sheet, for the very first time this season, I'm going to predict that the Wolves will win a game. I think in front of their home fans, Wolverhampton, who aren't playing the worst football to be honest, will do enough to record their first victory of the season, and so I'm predicting a home win in this game. Brighton host second place Manchester City at the American Express Stadium this weekend, and City have now lost their last 2 away games by a 2-1 scoreline. Can Brighton make that 3 from 3? If you think about it, Brighton have scored at least 2 goals in their last 5 home games, and Manchester have conceded at least a goal, sometimes 2, in their last 5 away games. So will both teams score in this one? Maybe, probably. But I just like to play a little bit safer, and I'm going to predict over 2.5 goals in this game. I mean, Man City, they're not playing well recently, but when they do get it right, they do get it right. Last season in this fixture, they beat Brighton 4-0. And although that result is pretty unlikely this round, if they did manage to beat Brighton quite comfortably, I don't think many of us would be too surprised. But Brighton at home will have other ideas, as they're still undefeated at home in the EPL this season. Maybe they'll both score, maybe Man City's going to pummel them, or maybe Brighton could even sneak a winner here, 2-1. But either way, I do see goals in this game, so I'm predicting over 2.5 goals. League leaders Liverpool will be hoping to extend their lead at the top as they host an Aston Villa, who seem to have gone a bit off the boil. Playing in the Champions League seems to be taking its toll on the Villas, and that was really apparent in the last game against Tottenham, where they conceded 3 second-half unanswered goals to lose that game 4-1. Both teams have a Champions League midweek game to consider as well, and this also will mean that Liverpool end up having an extra day to prepare for this game. Villa are winless in their last 3, while Liverpool have won their last 2, and I see them back to winning ways, and I'm confident of them winning at home this weekend. So my prediction for this game is going to be for Liverpool to win. Liverpool have won their last 2, and I think they're back to their winning ways, and they will be confident of getting the home win this weekend, and so am I. I think that both teams right now, they're heading really in opposite directions, and Liverpool with the bigger squad, the home advantage, the extra day's rest, I think all in all, this points to the Reds getting the 3 points and extending their lead at the top of the table. So I'm going for a Liverpool win. Manchester United are hosting Leicester for the second time in under a week. The Reds, under the interim manager, Ruven Nistelrooy, scored 5 goals past Leicester in that EFL Cup about a week ago, and they'll be confident and hoping for a much-needed home win. Bruno Fernandes scored twice in that game, and he also scored the equaliser in last weekend's 1-1 draw at home with Chelsea. Leicester also salvaged a 1-1 draw in their last away game against the mighty Ipswich Town. And based on the current table, there's not much separating Manchester and Leicester at the moment, but I do think that that's about to change. Under the new coach, Manchester seem to be playing much more united and with a newfound confidence. Leicester, on the other hand, seem to be, well, just scraping by, getting the odd good result here and there. However, I think that a repeat of the last result 1 week ago is on the cards again, as Manchester United will record a comfortable home win in this game, I feel, and there'll be plenty of goals in it as well. So my prediction for this game is Manchester United to win at home and over 2.5 goals. High-flying Nottingham Forest host Newcastle United this weekend, and Forest will be looking to continue their fine form and make it 4 wins in a row. Last weekend, they comfortably beat West Ham 3-0 at home, with the in-form choice striker Chris Woods bagging his 8th goal for the season. Newcastle recorded their first win in 4 games as they beat Arsenal at home. The swift and silky Isaac scoring the solitary goal in that game to notch his 3rd goal of the season so far. Both teams will be confident of getting a result coming into this game, and I feel that it's quite possible that this game will probably end up in a draw. But more than likely, I see both teams finding the back of the net in this game. So my prediction for Nottingham Forest versus Newcastle is for both teams to score. Let me know your thoughts on this game and on any other games in the EPL or La Liga down below in the comments. Another team that seems to have got their groove back, for the meantime, is Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham will be hoping to jump up into the top 4 with a good result at home this weekend against Ipswich Town. Spurs finished very strongly last weekend in their home game against Villa, scoring 3 unanswered goals as they ran out 4-1 winners. When Son is playing, Tottenham are on song. The speedy Korean attacker returned in that game and provided an assist for Tottenham's equaliser, and Dominic Solanke was on form in the right place at the right time on 2 occasions as he grabbed a brace in that game. Ipswich managed to avoid defeat for the first time in 4 games last weekend as they were held to a 1-1 draw at home to Leicester. Prior to that, Ipswich have conceded 8 goals in their last 2 away games, and I feel that after this weekend's games, that'll be into double figures. Whether they score or not, there will be goals in this game, and the majority of them will be scored by Tottenham. So my prediction for this game is Tottenham to win and over 2.5 goals. And the final game for this weekend's EPL predictions sees Chelsea at home against Arsenal. Both teams on equal points, both teams recently losing to Newcastle United. What will happen this game? Chelsea are playing well at the moment, and so are Arsenal at times. So picking a winner is not going to be straightforward, especially when it comes to a fiery London derby. Chelsea might come into this game feeling like slight favourites, being that they're at home. But their defence can't really be trusted to keep a clean sheet in this one, I don't think. Arsenal do play good attacking football at times, and will be confident after beating the Blues 5-0 in their last encounter back in April. However, in my opinion, the safest way to go for this game is going to be for both teams to score. Can't pick a winner. I don't know if it'll go overs, but I do feel that both teams will score. Let me know your predictions for this London derby in the comments. And now we're off to La Liga, and second place Real Madrid kick off our predictions at home against Osasuna. Last week, Real Madrid's game against Valencia was rightly postponed due to those horrific flooding and just horrible nightmare scenes that occurred in the city a few days before this game was scheduled to be played. Real Madrid will be hoping and expecting to reduce the deficit between themselves and league leaders Barcelona in this game, although Osasuna, who are currently 5th in La Liga and the only team to have beaten Barcelona this season, will not be pushed aside as easy as Los Merengues will be hoping. But I'm fairly certain that when the full-time whistle is blown, they would have been pushed aside, and Madrid will win this game quite comfortably in the end. Barcelona game aside, Madrid is Madrid. They're always strong favourites when they play, and especially at home, and for many good reasons. And even if Osasuna do score a goal in this game, I think Madrid will be far too strong, and I can see them getting a home win and over 2.5 goals in this game. Yeah, good on them. Barcelona will be hoping to keep up their strong start to the season as they travel to play away against Real Sociedad. Real Sociedad, they're a bit of a hit and miss this season. They've won a few games against teams they're expected to beat. They've had a few solid draws here and there, but nothing really special. They're down in 11th place at the moment, and even in front of their home support, they'll be very lucky to get anything from this Barcelona side. I mean, seriously, you beat Real Madrid 4-0 at the Bernabeu, and then what? You go and lose to Sociedad? Honestly, I doubt it. But you never know in football, stranger things have happened. With the whole team of Barcelona right now really playing very confident and direct football for a change, Barcelona just keep piling on the points with win after win. This weekend will be a tough fixture though, but it doesn't seem to bother the youngsters in this team. They beat Villarreal away, that was supposed to be hard. They smashed Madrid away, that was supposed to be hard. So I'm going to predict just a Barcelona away win for this game as well. It might be a tight game. Maybe both teams will score and Barcelona will win in over 2.5 goals. I don't know. What I do feel most confident about is Barcelona will take all 3 points in this game. All right, that's all for this week's prediction, guys. Let me know if you think I'm on the money with my predictions, or if you think I've got no idea what I'm talking about. Either way, I'd love to hear from you. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you did, and share it with your friends. And together, let's start making a big footballing community where we all start making better footballing predictions. Until next week, everyone, enjoy the football and have a great week.